in Novo Selo, Bulgaria. People once traveled from across the world to meet a blind woman known as Baba Vanga. She lived quietly, far from power and politics. Yet soldiers, leaders, and ordinary people all came seeking answers. Few knew that her story didn't begin there. Baba Vanga was born in 1911 in Strumica, Macedonia, then part of the Ottoman Empire, in a region that today lies in North Macedonia. As a child, a violent storm swept her into the air and buried her beneath debris. Sand filled her eyes. Infection followed. She lost her sight. And according to those around her, that's when the visions began. Over the years, Baba Vanga spoke of events that many would only understand after they happened. She warned of a great attack on American soil, of steel birds, striking symbols of power, followed by fire and chaos. Years later, the world watched in shock as September 11th unfolded.
American brethren will fall after being attacked by the steel birds.
She also spoke of the ocean rising without mercy, water swallowing cities, taking lives in a single day.
A huge wave will cover a big coast, covered with people and towns, and everything will disappear beneath the water.
In 2004, the Indian Ocean tsunami did exactly that. The ocean turned deadly. A massive tsunami tore through coastal communities across Asia, wiping out entire towns in minutes. More than 230,000 people lost their lives in one of the deadliest natural disasters in recorded history. Even politics appeared in her visions. She reportedly described a time when the United States would be led by a man unlike any before him, a leader from a different background, marking a historic shift. Years later, Barack Obama became president.
The 44th President of the United States will be an African-American man. Everyone will put their hopes in him.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
Skeptics call these coincidences. Others see patterns. What's certain is this: her words are always remembered after the world changes. So the question becomes, what's waiting for 2026? After the tsunami, after the attacks, after the political shifts. Many who follow Baba Vanga believe her warnings were never about single events, but about a world slowly losing balance. Today, that sense of imbalance feels impossible to ignore. In the Middle East, the war between Israel and Gaza has left devastation on a scale that shocked the world. Entire neighborhoods reduced to rubble, tens of thousands of lives lost. A humanitarian crisis that continues to deepen with no clear end in sight. At the same time, attention has turned toward South America. Venezuela, a country sitting on some of the largest oil reserves and mineral resources on Earth, has once again become a focal point of global tension. Online, speculation exploded.
Take the oil. Keep the oil. Drill, baby, drill.
Claims of foreign intervention. Claims of secret operations. Claims of leaders being targeted. When tensions rise, the pattern is almost always the same. Beneath the headlines, it's oil, minerals, and control over resources that quietly drive the conflict.
Our oil rights, we had a lot of oil there. As you know, they threw our companies out, and we want it back.
Have a presence in Venezuela as it pertains to oil.
In reality, Venezuela remains under President Nicolas Maduro. But the fear surrounding control of resources has fueled countless narratives. Narratives that reflect how fragile trust between nations has become. In early January 2026, US forces carried out a surprise military operation in Venezuela, resulting in the capture of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, who were transported to the United States to face long-standing criminal charges. And then there is Greenland.
We are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not.
Years ago, the idea of taking control of Greenland was laughed off as impossible. Yet its strategic location, rare earth minerals, and Arctic access have since turned it into one of the most geopolitically valuable regions on the planet. What once sounded absurd now sounds strategic. Meanwhile, Russia and China continue to loom over Ukraine and Taiwan, not just through military power, but through economic pressure, cyber warfare, and political influence. Baba Vanga's followers point to this moment and say, this is the build-up she warned about. Not a sudden world war, but a chain reaction. According to interpretations of her 2026 prediction, global conflict would not begin with one missile, but with many fronts collapsing at once. Ukraine, Taiwan, the Middle East, resource-rich regions. Nuclear missiles rise into the sky like artificial suns, crossing continents in minutes. Major cities, once full of life, become silent targets on digital maps. In seconds, history, culture, and millions of lives are reduced to light and ash. The sky glows brighter than 1,000 suns, and then the world goes quiet. This is not just war. This is humanity standing on the edge of its own extinction. A war that spreads faster than diplomacy can stop it. Some interpretations go even further, warning that if nuclear weapons were ever used at scale, the consequences would be beyond human control. Firestorms, radiation, millions of deaths within days. Scientists have long warned that widespread nuclear detonations could block sunlight, drop global temperatures, and trigger a form of nuclear winter, pushing Earth toward an artificial ice age. Cities would not just burn, they would turn to ashes and unlivable. And then comes the strangest part of Baba Vanga's prophecy. She allegedly spoke of extraterrestrial contact, not as invaders, but as witnesses, visitors arriving after humanity had already damaged itself. Some believe she meant November 2026. Not aliens coming to save us, but to observe what we did to a once beautiful planet. Oceans poisoned, skies filled with radiation, civilizations reduced to dust. Is this prophecy coincidence, or a mirror reflecting humanity's worst instincts? Baba Vanga never claimed the future was fixed. She warned that choices create outcomes. And if 2026 means anything at all, it may be a warning, not a sentence.